this week on the Bubble Chat.
I mean, it's devastating. She lost, of course, people who listened, who he provided years of information and entertainment to. Definitely will miss him.
A lot of these deals are shady,
I'm going to be honest, I have not watched Wheel of Fortune in a while. I haven't really catch up to that show as I used to. My grandma to this day will watch Wheel of Fortune.
I don't want no Today Show onesies with my grandbaby.
The only difference is that they don't have what they call the ability to shoot 3-round bursts.
If you gave it, then take the backlash.
At this point, one can only assume that Candace Owens is just saying all this bullshit to chase clout.
It's a life experience and part of life that you have to make. It's always a gamble,
Life experience that most of us will never know. We're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bubble Chat. We hope everyone has been having a good day. Tonight, there's not going to be any Shay because she's away, busy at work. But we do have one of our favorite and most handsome co-hosts, Uncle Ruby, with us tonight. And of course, the founding member of the Bubble Chat, Joanne.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be back after a week. For those of you who may have, for the students who may have not known, I am on spring break, so I figured if I'm gonna give myself a break, I figure why not let Aunt Eve and my mom have a break, and then we're back at it. We're back at it. And if you're watching on YouTube, you may have noticed that my hair is now turquoise. It's really. Ideally, it was going to be blue, but as my mom was adding the bleach, she made it yellow. So it actually was adding the blue. It turned into green. So, but I still enjoy it because I could tell my mom put in a lot of time on it.
Yay, Mom.
Huh?
I said, yay, Mom.
Yay, Mom. And I love her. I love her so much. I just keep telling her it's okay. It's okay. It's still good like this, and because blue's my favorite color, but I also like turquoise, so that's good. But yeah, we are back, and we are so happy that Uncle Ruben is filling in for Mom again. We've enjoyed him the last couple of days he filled in, so yeah.
Can I tell you a story? This is not the first time your mother has turned someone's hair green.
I can tell.
She, actually your great grandmother, she turned her hair green in the salon.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, shall we get started with today's topic?
We shall.
Alrighty. So, up first, we wanted to give you an update about radio host Jeffery Vandergrift, known as JV, who went missing last month as he was last seen on February 23rd. 3 weeks ago, we reported that he has been missing since then, and his wife has informed that it has been discovered that he will not be coming back. It is with a heavy heart that we notify you all that on March 23rd, JV's body was found in the water at San Francisco's Pier 39, and the SF medical examiner has confirmed that the corpse found was the body of Jeffery Vandergrift. According to Cron 4, JV's body was found by the police before 5 p.m. on Wednesday, and there was no foul play as his official cause of death is yet to be confirmed. Wild 94.9 host Graham and Selena kept the show on the air regardless of the struggles with sadness and grief during one episode when JV was still missing. Graham told listeners he's been a part of so many lives, so many people have met, said, I've never met JV personally, but I know him personally. I feel I know, excuse me, I feel like I know him, that what makes this even more difficult. The day after JV's body was found, his wife Natasha took to Instagram stating, quote, "For now, I am with JV's family in mourning and we all ask for privacy during this time. I know all of you cared for and love JV, so please continue to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Remember his laugh, kindness, and the immense impact he had on many of you. and our entire community. JV, my love, I will cherish the time we had together, and we will miss you until the day I see you again. Guys, what are your thoughts on this heartbreaking update?
I mean, this is it's devastating. She lost, of course, people who listened, who he provided years of information and entertainment to, definitely will miss him, but it's nothing like your family missing you. So it's just devastating for the family, and I'm so sorry for the loss of such a great talent.
Yeah, here's the thing. His wife hasn't 100% confirmed the actual cause of the death. Nevertheless, it does look like it shows all signs of suicide. However, we don't know for sure actually. One of his first statements that all signs show that he's not likely to return home. And JV's found body is an example of him not returning home. And it has been reported that his car was found abandoned on a highway with the driver's side windows, with the window smashed, and some of the personal items belong with the vehicle. I'm going to be honest. This one really hit me hard. I never knew who JV was personally, but I did hear about him being missing, and I'm taking a KSFS radio class at college, and my instructor reported that he had been missing, and she was teary-eyed, and I'm just really heartbroken for his wife and her entire family. Uncle Ruben, do you have any thoughts on this?
So I think a few weeks ago, I don't know if you did it, I didn't listen, but I know that you had reported a few weeks ago that his body was missing, or we're talking about it, or we're going to talk about it. And I know that he had struggled with, I guess, Lyme disease or some other things. But I think the toll of that, on top of other issues, I think he may have struggled with, from reading with it, it looked like he had also just struggled with depression and those kind of things. And as a person that struggles with depression myself and anxiety and those things, it's the stress of everyday life that you deal with. It's hard to when I was in sociology class, I took a sociology class a few years ago when I was in trying to prepare. I was going to apply to a PA program, and I took a sociology class, and it required us to take the sociology professor had us watch a documentary called "The Many Masks We Wear," and it's these, and the masks are these different faces, these things that we put on that
I know what you're talking about.
So that we can protect ourselves, or we put on a happy face, we put to protect us from how we really feel sometimes. And I think, his radio personality is that mask that he wears because he knows he gives joy to people throughout the day, and or provides that entertainment. And I think that really it hits home to me because, when I got out of the Navy, I really struggled with a lot of things. I really struggled with a sense of purpose and how I could, what I was doing with where I was going and how I was moving forward my life. I had a purpose when I was in the Navy, but when you don't have that purpose anymore, or you're struggling with depression and you're still trying to find that purpose in life, sometimes you think that there's no way out, and the only way out is to end your life. And I'm here to say that, there's life worth living, in my own struggles, there's life worth living. And, I was sitting there, and they asked me, was I at the end? And I was like, why didn't I do anything? And I was like, I have my wife and kids. that keep me from doing those things and hurting myself, even though I thought about it seriously of harming myself. I had my wife and kids that kept me from that. So I know what that struggle is, that to be in a dark place, to be hurting on the inside and not being able to find that outlet. And I will tell you that, I've talked to professionals, and I've finally been able to reach a point in my life where I'm better, and he will tell you I'm better than I was, in many ways. But, with this guy, I feel for the family because they won't know his joy anymore.
Right.
I don't mean to bring it down, but they won't know his joy. And that's the thing that I think we don't think about when we're in that moment, is they won't know his joy anymore. They won't know that he was a matter to them. If it was indeed suicide, that he mattered to them. And I think that that's important to understand, is that no matter how bad things get, you matter to somebody, and you are important to somebody. And if you're not there, you're going to be missed regardless.
Absolutely.
Of however you feel, you're going to be missed and you're going to be needed.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that, Uncle Ruben. I think JV's death, like many other deaths, is unimaginable. And yeah, there has not been a day that goes by where, in some cases, where I would, and just like you were saying, Uncle Ruben, where I would have where the masking part, where, because like most days I have like a happy face, and I'm cheerful and I'm very joyful, but there's some cases I do, like there are some days where I do have my unhappy moments. And when I was going through depression during the pandemic back in 2020, when I was still a community college student at the time, I was like staying strong, but I think most people can tell like I'm just feeling depressed and suffering from like anxiety, because like I have like this cheerful and learning face on, but behind that mask is like me. It's like me, just feeling down. And Uncle Ruben, thank you so much for telling your story about this, and huge shout out to your family, including and Eve, for keeping keeping you from harming yourself, because it really is uh, it really is like hard. And and I'm just and I've been saying this a lot. People need to start letting people know that they love them while they're still on Earth, because tomorrow isn't promised. It's not promised for anyone. And um, we all have things that we're going through that people know zero about. and and I'm just like really, and I just really praying for Natasha and her family. And like I said, there will never be another JV. And we just all we're all in this together, and whatever difficulties we're going through right now, we will get through this 1,000,000%.
Well, on behalf of the bubble chat, I want to definitely give our deepest condolences and thoughts and prayers to JV's wife and all of his family and friends, those who he definitely mattered to. And may she find healing and peace, and hopefully he's at peace now too. Up next, we're going to change gear. Up next, we are going to talk about the author Rosalind Weisman. For those of you who don't know, she wrote Mean Girls, which was a huge hit with Lizzie Lohan, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go out.
She is
Just wanted to bring that
so,
up.
huh? You
I
can
was just referring to the line where I think Amanda Seyfried was like, I can't go out. I'm sick.
I don't think anybody's ever seen the movie.
I have seen the movie, but it was so long ago, and I think I have, something going on with my memory because I can't remember things. But moving along, author Rosalind Weisman told the New York Post this past weekend that she and her lawyers have been circling legal action to investigate Paramount's accounting books to find out if any money has been made from the movie Mean Girls over the years that could be sent her way. According to TMZ, Tina Fey and Paramount has cashed in on her work for Mean Girls, while Rosalind has been left with not a penny. The reason of this legal action is that Rosalind felt like she has been screwed out of a lot of potential cash since the film Mean Girls have been released in the light of the Broadway musical that has been made about it. Rosalind claimed that the deal she signed with Paramount and Tina Fey at the time, which made her a one-time $400,000 payday, I should say, and which she acknowledges relinquished any rights of the work, meaning that she might make more based on how well Mean Girls did. But that's not what that means.
So in the story, I think you're missing something.
Mm-hmm.
She was going to make some percentage points off any profits that were made. So she was going to get a few more.
So she got a one-time. Well, she got an initial payment of $400,000.
Yeah.
And then
she's going to get points on the back end.
Oh well, if she ain't got no money on the back end, she's owed something because that movie has been in high rotation, and isn't it available on some of the streaming platforms?
I think it might be on Paramount, but it's 20 years old, so
I know, but those musicians, they still be getting, be getting paid. Like I know that George Lucas got, his $1 billion or $500 million or whatever it was for the Star Trek series, but he was making before that, he was getting paid every time. And I mean, his name still be coming up on the screen. I mean,
I would say this, that a lot of these deals are shady, these sign-ups.
If I wrote something and I got $400,000, and this is not back then, because $400,000 today is a lot less than $400,000 back then.
Yeah.
What I would like to say is, if I wrote something, and this is real talk, if I wrote something and I got $400,000, that's a lot of pennies right there. Now, what you did with the money, I don't know, not my business. But all I'm saying is that's a good payday. I'm not saying she's not entitled to more. All I'm saying is, even today, $400,000, I might get me a body massage and tip Uncle Ruben for one.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking what you're thinking is that she's a little angry that she didn't make more money off that movie. There's more in that story. I guess Tina Fey is having there was a play and some other things, but here's my thing: if you ain't reading the fine print and you're not paying attention to what you sign, and you don't get that, you don't understand what points mean, and you're not paying attention to all that stuff, don't sign that contract. Don't sell your rights away right away if that's not really what you want to do, because it seems like
I'm working on a piece right now. Anybody want to buy it for $400,000?
That's what I mean. It's like $400,000 was a lot of money in 2004.
You can have my neck-born child.
So it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but then she's like, so it's like, seems like she went through that $400,000 and she's trying to make more money. It seems like she's got that Sylvester Stallone issue where she's upset with whatever they're doing with her without her or whatever. She's thinking they owe her more money.
And you know what? And she might be owed more money. And if Mrs. Weisman is owed more money, then I hope she gets it.
I do too. I hope she does too. If they can find out the more money,
because that was a good. I don't remember all of it, like the details of it, but I remember when I watched Mean Girls, I was entertained.
Yeah, and there are a couple of things that I want to bring up about this. Is that the writer said that Paramount hasn't made a nickel, even though the film grossed over $130 million. And the original book that Rosalind wrote, it was titled Queen Bees and Wannabes, and Tina Fey used it for the script for Mean Girls. And the writer of the book was kind of like what you were saying, Annie, was $400,000. And like one of you said, it's just a shady mess. And I hope this all slows down. And yeah.
That shady mess goes really good with that green hair on top of your head.
That boy alone with his green hair.
Well, like shady mess, you think of like a forest and stuff. At least I do. So I was thinking like Tynan.
With his turquoise hair. With his turquoise hair.
Oh my goodness!
I would tell Shay Sugar you giving her little boy a hard time.
I am not giving my nephew. Know I love him to the moon and back again.
It's okay, Uncle Ruben. Trust me. We do this stuff like this all the time. Okay.
Oh my God. All right, Ruben.
All right, so we're moving on to when I was younger, one of my favorite TV shows. Not so much anymore, but on the bonus round of Wheel of Fortune on March 17th, contestants were upset, or viewers were upset that the Wheel of Fortune decided to make up a word. Made up the answer on one of the bonus round. TV Insider claimed that Julie struggled with the letters on the made up word the made up clue or whatever the final answer. The category was person, which ended up, and the answer was founding partner. But Julie, the final contestant, she could figure out partner, but she couldn't figure out the first word, and people were thinking that they had made up the word. But according to corporate finances, to a founding partner is typically a term used to designate the shareholder or shareholders of one of the first companies acquired by an equity-backed platform company. Regardless of her loss in the bonus round, Julie still walked away with $15,169. What are your thoughts on Wheel of Fortune and them trying to make up words and stuff like that? What do you think?
First of all, they didn't make up no word. That's first and foremost. Look, what's her name? Julie?
Yeah.
Julie, you didn't solve the puzzle. It's all about solving the puzzle. And you did not solve the puzzle within the time allotted. You can complain. You can be bitter. Now this is a sore loser right there.
It wasn't her, it was the Twitter. It was people on Twitter.
Oh, wasn't her? Okay, sorry, Julie. You were not a sore loser. But Julie did not solve the puzzle. And I have I'm not the smartest person in any room. Well, in some rooms. But most rooms, I am not the smartest person. I am not the sharpest knife. So, but even I have heard of founding partner.
Yeah.
Founding member. It is that is a person. Who is a stockholder is a what?
A founding
person.
Yeah, a person. Yeah.
A shareholder is a what? A person. A partner is a what? I mean, if you're in like bestiality, it might be a horse, but typically a partner is a person.
If you would have solved the puzzle, you would have probably got it. It was like an F, an N, and a G, I think. We
would have had the $40,000. Was it a car or was it $40,000? Was it a car?
It was $40,000.
It was $40,000.
Yeah. If you would have solved, you would have got founding. You probably would have got founding. I would have got founding. It wasn't that hard.
I want to bring up the fact that. Oh, I want to bring up the fact before I do. I forgot to mention this when we introduced the show that you may have noticed that I'm not on my headset and there's down a little microphone that was over there like the last episode. It's because I am in my living room at my apartment right now because the building that I use is currently closed because it's either Travis Day and it's a holiday. But going back to this, the fans accused
that. So basically, my nephew is saying that he's slumming like his Uncle Reuben and his auntie today. He's not no fancy or, sound.
Yeah, he's not all high tech.
He's slumming like the rest of us today. Okay, carry on.
Okay. So, and I think it's kind of like what one of you were saying, that the fans accused the show of making up the answer on the puzzle board. I'm going to be honest, I have not watched Wheel of Fortune in a while. I haven't really catch up to that show as I used to. My grandma to this day will watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. But yeah, I think it's always at most times people, they're like, what happened like behind the scenes has been like revealed to light. So, for example, and I think this was a few years ago, or maybe it was a couple years ago, but I think one example I can bring up that is, I think Pat Sajak, I don't know if you heard, but Pat Sajak recently on camera called a contestant ungrateful. I don't know the details of it, nor do I want to get involved in it, but it's just like what happened on. Like,
ungrateful.
I don't know for sure.
I don't know for sure. Sometimes I'm ungrateful.
Oh, Pat Sajak's a horrible person anyway. So
I don't know if he's a horrible person.
Oh, he's got a horrible Twitter personality. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't know.
Whoever's tweeting for Pat Sajak
who didn't really acknowledge his black grandchild, but that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, Pat Sajak's definitely up there with some suspect viewpoints on Twitter. But yeah, I used to be way too involved on Twitter. So, but that's way too well, all too well.
But sometimes people are grateful. I mean, look, I'm a black person in America, and I can tell you there's millions of people in this country who are ungrateful for the free labor of my people. But let's get back to the subject.
And going back to the what's off topic, Pat did issue an apology. I don't get involved in like any drama, but there's like, it's always like the show. It's always like the show's being accused of doing something that's like bad. Do you guys think that is the case?
I think people are just people watch Wheel of Fortune's been on for so long. Ever since I've been alive, it seemed like Wheel of Fortune's been on TV. And I think people are used to.
People are entitled.
Yes.
They are not the producers. These people create a game show where people can get on TV for their half an hour of fame, and they can win some free money. I mean, well, not free from Uncle Sam, because they're going to tax the fool out of you, but they're going to get some money for solving a puzzle. So that's an opportunity. So they get to they create the puzzle.
Yeah,
So you know what I'm
basically.
saying? So if they
Yeah,
don't, if they want that puzzle to read hot crab like pussy, that's their business. Solve the puzzle.
I think that's the
People
problem
be-
with America right
people be
now. I
cats
think
in the
that's the
book.
problem. There's too many people that feel like they're entitled to win that money on Wheel of Fortune because it's become so synonymous with everyday life. Like
Yeah.
you like you said, your grandmother watches it. So people have become so attuned to it all the time that it's like they're so used to it. It's like they become so used to it being on all the time. It's like their evening meal. They're so used to it. They watch it and they're like, oh, here comes past Ajak and Vanna White. My normal routine. And when something is a little bit off, they think, oh,
I love Twitter and I love Twitter and I hate Twitter. That's why I'm not really on Twitter too much. But there's some really great things that happen on Twitter. Like when people express themselves towards people I happen not to like. Those are my favorite moments of Twitter.
well, yeah, that's my favorite parts of Twitter too.
Because they come with it, with the humor of it. However, sometimes I think we just take things a little bit too far.
I feel you on that.
Jawan.
Yes.
But she did win like $15,000 plus.
Yeah.
And I mean, $15,000. How long is the show? How long are they there? Like an hour or two or whatever? I mean,
yeah, it's
30 minutes.
I mean, the only person that makes that type of money is Beyonce.
In 15 minutes, she got $15,000, 15 minutes.
That's Rihanna money. That's good money. No, for real, that's good money, y'all. Joanne, you're up next. We need to talk about Big Zaddy Al Roker.
Okay. Up next, on March 15th, Al Roker announced on today that he is set to become Pop Roker this summer. A day earlier, Al's oldest daughter, Courtney Roker Laga, has announced that she is expecting her first child with her husband, Wesley Gaga. Al experienced the joy of learning that he was going to become a grandpa before Courtney made it public. During today's third hour, Al celebrated the news with a champagne toast with Craig Melvin, Chanel Jones, I hope I said that right, and Dylan Dyer received a gift of Today onesies for his future grandchild. What are your thoughts on Al Roker's reaction when finding out that he is going to be a grandpa? And do you feel like his grandchild is going to be a boy or a girl?
Well, if it looks like him, I hope it's a boy. Because it'll be a handsome little fella. I think he's excited. Seems like he's very proud of his incoming grandchild. I'm just a little bit disappointed, and this is where I'm a little bit ungrateful. Where I'm like, I don't want no Today Show onesies for my grandbaby. I need a stroller. I need a crib. I need some gift certificates. I need some Pampers. I need some baby wipes. I don't want no little funky Today Show onesies.
Well, I'm sure they're going to have a baby shower or something.
I mean, but you could have did that. I mean, they could have got them like an A1 stroller. Like them expensive, like $900, $1,000, or $3,000 strollers. That's what they should have had for that baby.
Well, I'm sure Al's
Rolls
not
Royce. They
thinking
should have
about that.
Do
I'm
Bentley make a
sure,
stroller?
huh?
Do Bentleys make strollers?
No, I don't think so.
Well, they should have had whatever the equivalent of the Bentley of strollers.
But yeah, I'm just
Filled
sure
up with
Al's
all
just
the
as
good
happy
stuff.
that the.
Like that Gwyneth Paltrow, Beyonce type of baby stuff.
But this is for his daughter. So I'm sure they're.
But I mean, they could have did. I don't know that today one thing, but I'm ungrateful. I mean, it's not his mom, but I'm ungrateful for Al Roker. Can I be ungrateful for Al Roker?
I guess, but
I
it
guess.
just seems like I'm sure he's just thinking, I'll just announce it and it'd be over with.
They had that champagne. They all knew that show was produced. They knew what was going to happen. It wasn't a surprise. They could have had that man the Bentley stroller for his grandbaby, filled up with some.
But again, I'm sure that they're not thinking he's just a grandfather. They're not thinking about he's just a grandfather.
Tell me I'm just a Gexy.
Shoot.
Yeah.
You're just a Getsy.
My grandchildren are everything. I can't wait till they come back this summer because they're gonna work your ass.
Oh, I know, because you don't do shit.
Sure don't. That's what I got you for, Tenderoni.
Oh, good Lord.
Uncle Ruben, before I do give out my thoughts, what do you think Al Roker's grandchild's going to be? Is it going to be a boy or a girl?
It doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't care. I think
it might be a they.
It might be a they. Who knows anymore? And that's a good thing. I think. I think it's important just for it to be healthy, and that's all that really matters.
If he's healthy, then that's really all that matters. Because Al is hoping that his first grandchild will say "Pop Pop" in honor of his father, and that he hopes to spoil his future grandchild.
I can't believe it's his first grandchild.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good. I think he's gonna be a good Pop.
How old is Al Roker? Al Roker got to be way old.
Well, let me check.
I don't think he's that old.
Oh,
because I was a grandfather young. Gosh.
Oh, Roker.
Yes,
I'm looking him up.
Because I was, but then again, I married
68 years old.
If I get in trouble. How old?
68. He's 68 years old.
Oh. Huh. That's not too bad. I thought Al Roker was older than that. He looks kind of older than that.
He don't look older than that. Now listen, you just so unnecessary. You don't like my Medea outfit today?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. If I were to have a child, once I learn how to raise one, rather I'm.
You don't learn how to raise any kids, man. It just comes. Are you
planning on having kids?
Nope.
If you plan on having kids,
I was just saying.
Learn to raise kids.
I was saying if I were to have a child in like a few years or whatever the time comes, we all know who's born.
Are they gonna come to my house and for the summer?
Good Lord, man! I can't be taking care of other people's kids too.
I was just saying, guess who's gonna be oiling the grandchild?
Shay gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? You ain't gonna get her to babysit too much because your mama will be in the street.
For the viewers who may be freaking out right now, don't worry. I'm not having a child anytime soon. I'm still focusing on school, so don't worry, Uncle Ruben. I'm not really.
I'm not saying that, but you won't learn to raise a kid. It just comes in as it goes. That's what I'm saying. Good Lord, it comes as it goes. Because man, I made some mistakes.
Well, y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back with your bubble chat.
Welcome back to the Bubble Chat with more of today's topics. By now, we're sure you all heard the tragic school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. On March 27th, a mass school shooting took place in a private Christian campus, Covenant School, that took away the lives of 6 people. At 10:13 a.m., the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department received a call about an active shooter inside the school as surveillance showed the school shooter who entered the school by firing glass doors. After the mass shooting, 3 weapons we found of a AR-15, a Kel-Tec, Sub 2002, and a handgun. Guys, to say that this is heartbreaking is an understatement, and we have been seeing millions of news about school shootings, and we have been getting up in the mornings to hear more news about this, such as the one in Newtown, Connecticut, and Uvalde, Texas, and those tragedies left us still at a loss for words. And we have asked millions of times, when will something be done? What are your thoughts on this yet heartbreaking situation, and what kind of action do you think should be taken? I'll start with you, Uncle Ruben.
So the first thing I'd like to say is, you feel bad for the parents and the kids and those that survived this, the teachers and those who survived this this tragedy, the kids especially who had to experience this this violence. It's unnecessary gun violence. It's crazy to think that people are so so angry, so mad that they have to go out there and take their frustration out on kids that don't deserve this kind of violence. And the part that bugs me most is the AR-15. It's a we say AR-15. It's a blanket statement for many different types of rifles that are out there, and they are chambered for all sorts of different types of bullets. But the reality of it is, they say they're assault weapons, and these are similar to the types of weapons that are used by the armed forces. The only difference is that they don't have what they call the ability to shoot 3-round bursts.
Were you going to say something else?
Yeah, I was gonna, and I think that people always argue, oh, this is our right, this is our right to bear arms, this is our right to do this. And if you go back to what some of our forefathers wanted with the Constitution, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Constitution to where it would be amended or rewritten every 20 years. he never meant they never meant for the right to bear arms to be stuck in there permanently. We have the right to bear arms, but we can't. We have women can't have the right to an abortion. We don't have the right to free we don't have the right to proper medical care, but we can go out and buy a fucking rifle. We can go out and buy guns that can kill people. And I said this a few days ago on Twitter. I was like, I was in the military for 22 years. And I handled weapons. And to this day, they still scare the hell out of me. I fired weapons. I never fired a weapon at anybody. I went to war a handful of times. Luckily, I never had to shoot at anybody. But firing a weapon scares the hell out of me. Even if I shoot at a paper target, pulling that trigger scares the hell out of me still. And I can't imagine pulling that trigger at a kid and being okay with that. And I don't, I can't be in their mindset of people who are doing that. But at the same time, we're allowing people to be able to buy these weapons, but we don't have proper background checks. We don't allow for proper background checks. We're afraid to put these things in place because we allow the gun lobbyists to interfere. We allow them to be in the pockets of politicians to block proper legislation to protect from this type of stuff from happening. So this is going to continue to happen. And people say, oh, but the right guy with the right gun is going to stop that from happening. Sure. But it's going to continue to happen until we make the right answer, until we make the right legislation and the right calls and the right decisions, and people man up and say, okay, it's time to put laws in, sensible gun laws in that make sense to stop this BS, to stop stuff like this from happening.
Right. I absolutely agree with you, Uncle Ruben. I feel like when it comes to like purchasing guns, it's all about the money. It really is all about the money, and this is definitely an example that thoughts and prayers and condolences and moments of silence are not enough. And the gunman Audrey Hale, this is according to CNN. Audrey Hale purchased a legally brought seven firearms that were hidden at her home, and her parents knew that she brought and sold a weapon. On that morning, she left home with a red bag, and parents dismissed them at once as Audrey took off. And President Biden said that he couldn't do anything with the exception of pleading with Congress to act, and Audrey first killed the people who she saw was in contact with. I've been saying this a lot. I'm livid. I'm tired. I'm sad. I'm heartbroken, outraged, and angry for those angry. I'm just livid at the fact that we had to hear yet another school shooting. Because think about Sandy Hook. Think about Robb Elementary School. Think about the high school in Florida. Think about the shooting that happened at Thousand Oaks, California. Think about all those lives being taken away by a fucking gun. And I really, really, really getting tired of having to get up this morning to hear yet another school shooting. I'm getting tired of having to hear, and I know this just happens, but I'm getting tired of having to hear more news about this happening because millions of journalists, broadcast journalism, broadcast journalists have been told stories like this multiple times. And just like I said, thoughts and prayers are not enough. We've been hearing thoughts and prayers over and over again until like something seems to be happening, but yet that cycle keeps happening and happening and happening again. And as a human being, I cannot imagine the parents' fear of dropping their child off school, knowing that without even knowing that this might be the last time they'll ever see their child. Because get this, is those children who died in that shooting, and along with other children who died in elementary schools, those parents will never get to see their child grow up. They'll never see their children enter middle school and high school, graduate from those ceremonies. They'll never see them attend college, have a house, have children, have grandchildren. This is just something that needs to be done, and like you said, Uncle Ruben, and nothing will be stopped unless we use our voice for action, because this shows that we're not going to stand for it at all. And Eve, do you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I think this is my logic on it. I understand that we have a right to bear arms, and I should have a right to bear arms. I should be able to have a gun in my home. I believe I should be able to carry a weapon for protection. So I don't have a problem with guns per se. What I have a problem with is the lack of regulation and legislation in regards to them. And what I mean by that is that I cannot drive an Indy 5000 race car or Indy 500, whatever y'all call it. I cannot drive a race car on the street. It's not street legal. I cannot drive a military tank on the street. I cannot create a bomb. Correct? So why should I be able to have a weapon that can kill, a semi-automatic weapon that can kill a few people, several people, dozens of people? Why should that be legal for me to have? I should be able to have a rifle. I should be able to have a handgun. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but a weapon that is semi-automatic that can shoot off so many rounds for mass shooting potential, I should not be able to have that. That should not be legal. So again, my problem is not with guns. And then also I think there should be screening, but what is the screening? Who are you going to screen? How are you going to screen it? Is it about, is it a depression? Because a lot of people have depression and they would never harm somebody. So what are going to be the guidelines for the screening? I think if you've been in domestic violence or you have a history of assault, those type of things, I think you should not be able to have. I think there should be some consideration for that. But what crimes? You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times sometimes these people, they don't have a history of anything sometimes. So sometimes these people are first time. There's no history behind them. So you have to be careful with that, I think. But I think there should be some regulation on gun. I'm just sad for the families. I'm sad for the people who lost their lives unnecessarily. And I personally will never understand. Now, I would never kill anybody unless I had to defend my family or myself. I don't believe I would. have I thought about killing someone? Like hypothetically, because they got on my nerves, yes, but I would never do it. But I don't understand how someone can walk into a school, like allegedly she had some type of bad experience or felt some type of resentment towards the
Mental
school.
disorder,
Huh?
or I think, or it might be maybe like a mental disorder.
I don't know her mental status, but I know my understanding is that she felt some type of way about her experience at that school. So I'm trying to figure out what the kids had to do with that. Like, why shoot the baby? Because that's telling me when you shoot the baby, not only are you a very callous and a disgusting person to me, but that just tells me you're crying out for attention, that you just want to go out and to be able to say you killed children for some kind of reason. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I was a child who was bullied, and I was a child who was abused, who experienced abuse, right? I would never want to abuse, I would never want to subject that to someone else. So me going back to a school where I had a miserable time at, what would shooting those children who are there then, what would that have to do with anything?
Y'all, I swear to God, and I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna try my hardest.
I'm just tired of the mash. And there's been so many. We're not even halfway through the year, and there's just been so many.
We're not even a quarter way through we're just now hitting a quarter. No, not even a quarter.
Well, we are a quarter.
I swear.
Yeah, I guess we are a quarter.
I'm gonna try my hardest, like, not to sound dreadful, but I swear to God, if I watch the news coverage of a police conference about the shooting and this person saying that this gunman has a bad day, he's had like a mental disorder or any other or type of BS.
Sometimes I do. I don't have a problem with that because that might be their truth. But again, what are we doing about why do they have these weapons that can take away so many lives?
And if what I'm really saying is, like, from my point of view, rather that person has a mental illness, is which I'm pretty sure is like very common, and nothing against people who do have mental illnesses. We send those well wishes, but whether that gunman has that mental illness or not, either way, what that person did is a horror movie, and I don't know if she made it alive or not, but if she did, I don't think that she would be walking away scot-free. I just don't.
She did.
That's just my opinion, and from my point of view, and from my experience as a journalism major back at community college. Like no one can get away scot-free with a murder.
Well, OJ did.
And of course, on that note, our thoughts and prayers. On that note, our hearts go out to all the families of the victims who lost their lives in this mass shooting.
Yeah. Up next, we have model Hailey Bieber reach out apparently to singer Selena Gomez on Instagram, coming to her defense. Apparently, she's been receiving death threats and mean tweets, mean something, right?
Yeah.
And Selena basically made a statement, standing up for Hailey and coming to her defense. Yeah. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
I'll start with your Uncle Ruben.
Well, it all started I would say a few months ago, I think. I wouldn't say, I don't know how long ago, but Hailey, was it Kylie Jenner or one of them Jenners, were poking fun at Selena and saying mean things And then I think it's important that Selena came to her defense, put it all behind her. I think Selena's being the bigger person. And I think it's good because it's putting all this fake BS behind them. You know, people think that these celebrities care.
Right.
They think that they're going to get noticed if they tweet something mean at your supposed enemy. Your Auntie Eve and I would get I used to get mean tweets all the time. And I was called a homo thug one time. And it's just funny. And it's like just goofy because people want to get noticed by people, by celebrities, or fake celebrities. And it's silly to me to think that these people have nothing else better to do in their day than to sit there and say, oh, well, I'm going to tweet this mean thing at Hailey Bieber so that Selena will notice me because they were tweeting mean things at my hero, Selena. And it just boggles my mind that that's going to work. Like, sometimes people just need to get away from the internet, get off the internet and take a break. And I'm glad that people are just moving away from it, moving forward and trying to put an end to this because it's like so far removed, this fake narrative that Selena's still chasing after Justin Bieber and all that stuff. I think and I think it started just with some Mean Girl shit. Going back to our first story about Mean Girls, started with some Mean Girls tweets about Selena looking funny or something like that, or gaining weight or something, or her cosmetics line didn't sell very well.
Can I interject something?
Yeah.
I don't care. Now, death threats, that's just too far for me, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I think. I agree with you to only a certain extent. There are some people who purposely tweet to try to get some type of interaction with whoever they're a fan of. I get it, right? There is that element. But there's also another element, like a person like me, who, if I see you be mean to somebody else and I feel a little froggy, I might come at you. Now, whoever you may be talking about, whether I'm a fan or not, I'm not going to tag them because they're not on it, because I'm not about that. I don't need any validation from anybody, right? As long as my kids love me, my family loves me, my family friends, my husband love me, as long as that, that's enough for me. I don't need any validation from any person I buy an album from or I watch on TV. You've done enough for me. You entertain me in some type of way. I don't need nothing from you, right? So, but with that said, if I see you being mean and I come back at you, that's not me looking at attention. That's me giving you as good as you gave. So me personally, I think the death threats are too much. I think that's just too much. That's ridiculous. There's no need for that. But, and I wasn't watching Hailey Bieber and Kylie Jenner with their alleged mean tweets. I didn't see it. I haven't experienced. I don't follow them like that. But just let's say that they did it. If you gave it, then take the backlash. If you gave it, if you was tough and you was making fun of the way the girl looked, then live with what comes with it. You can't take that meanness back. Now the death threats are too much, but that mean stuff, that negativity, you was good for you giving the negativity. So now you should be able to take it. Just like if I step to someone and I say, hey, she look crazy, and then someone says, hey, you fat. I should take that fat because I said that girl looked crazy and she came back with me. You look fat. I'd be like, okay, she right. I'm fat. Okay. I should be able to receive what I give out. That's all I'm saying. Like, this is Cry Me a River. Now I think Selena seems to be the bigger person in this, and I applaud her for whatever her decision, but she couldn't have, Hailey couldn't have reached out to me about nothing. I'd be like, wasn't you talking about, bitch, wasn't you talking about the way I looked? Go eat something.
Okay.
Go get a snack. Get off my phone.
Okay. Let me calm down a bit.
Okay, what's your take on it, Jawan?
Yeah, I think this has to do with this like alleged beef that was going on between them. I don't know for sure if there was beef going on between Hailey and Selena, but after finding out that Hailey applauded Selena for standing up for her, it looks like there wasn't any beef after all. And I don't know for sure if there was.
There was some mean girl stuff going on from Kylie and Hailey a couple of months ago. They were going after her about how she looked in her makeup stuff not selling. It was on Twitter or Instagram or something. So that's why they went after Hailey.
Yeah,
that's the root cause of it all.
Yeah, I think I did hear about the Hailey and Kylie beef. I don't know about the.
No, that's Hailey and Kylie going after Selena.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but yeah, I think rather, and this is just my opinion and my opinion only. If you guys disagree or if the viewers disagree, just comment below. I'm okay with it. But I don't think, in my opinion, that there was any beef between Hailey and Selena, because Hailey thanked her for what Selena did, and I applaud her for that 1,000,000%. I think this is like a similar situation to when Victoria Justice went on the Meredith Vieira show, where she talks about the alleged beef between her and pop star Ariana Grande, where she said that there's no bad blood between them. Like, they have like their differences, but at the end of the day, there's like no bad blood between them. I don't know if that's still the case, or it's something like they're just making her say it for like money.
Go up the true sign because it's affecting their dollar sign. So let's make that clear. Or it's affecting their mental health, or it's not a good look for them.
Okay.
Well, and you have to realize that, in my opinion, I don't know them, but from what they project, they have a celebrity lifestyle. So they like all eyes on them. But they like all eyes on them when it's praise. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, of course, is there beef? I don't know if they have is there beef? I don't know if there's so-called beef, but I don't think there's any like major love lost between them. I'm not saying they were arch enemies or anything, or they had ongoing problems, but there was some nastiness that was at least going on from one side that I could see. I don't know if it was two-way, but from one side I could see it. So what I'm saying a little bit. So what I'm saying, because I seen, and not recently, but a couple of years back, I seen some stuff. But so what I'm saying to you is, because they weren't receiving the praise that they're used to and the accolades that they're used to receiving, then it was an issue. And it, like, again, Selena's I think she's a nice person to, say step off. I would have just said, y'all going too far with the death threats. But when you're negative about people and you talk about the way they look and you try to be slick with it, whatever negativity on that end, minus and no death threats, no harming them, whatever else you got to say with them, have at it.
I apologize. It wasn't Kylie. It was Kendall Jenner that Hailey Bieber. It was in January of this year that they posted this TikTok about that Selena Gomez deserved that Hailey Bieber stole Justin Bieber from her. Yeah, so
I don't know. I
it's
mean,
all
people
bullshit.
break up, people move on. At the end of the day, do I spend my time talking about your ex-girlfriend?
And then they were messing around with her. Selena Gomez had a eyebrow mishap, and then that's when Kylie Jenner came in, and they were making fun of her.
Kylie or Kinder?
Kylie then made fun of her, so that's
okay,
when both of them, all of them, were making fun of her.
Upstanding citizens.
Yep. So they were all coming after Selena. That's where it all stems from. So yeah, a little bit too much. I knew it was somewhere, but yeah, the death threats are a bit much, but they were being mean girls and they got as good as they deserved. But Selena was trying to be the better.
Yeah, but that's nice of her.
All right, I guess we're gonna move on to my favorite person, I guess. I'm just kidding. Up next on March 1st, the right wing's favorite Black conservative, Candace Owens, spoke up about an advertisement for Kim Kardashian's clothing line during an episode of her podcast while reacting to a picture of a model in a wheelchair wearing a bra and underwear. Candace said, "I don't really understand how far we're going to take this inclusivity thing. I really don't get it. And if I'm wrong, again, educate me today. I just wanted to be educated in the comments." And of course, it didn't take long enough for actress Christina Applegate to call her out 3 weeks later. 3 weeks later, Christina took to her Twitter account tweeting, "Yes, late tweet, but woke to see the most horrifying thing. This Candace person making comments about companies to who see we need help. It's fucking gross. I thank Skims and Tommy and Guy Beauty and Neo Walksticks for seeing us. You should know better. Guys, what are your thoughts on this clapback?"
2 words, and one, do. The second one, better. I was disgusted by Candace's comments. It's like disgusting. And the fact that she was calling out a model who was like on a wheelchair, she's taking it too far, and she definitely tried it.
Yeah, I think Candace Owens does it sometimes it's like clickbait a lot of times, like for responses. She does it for reactions. I think she's obnoxious, and she's out there saying these things with no real. A lot of times it doesn't seem like she was like without any real understanding of what she's saying. It seems like she'll say things and it doesn't fully grasp what she's saying. And I think a lot of times it's just, oh, let me say this for a reaction, and it gets her more views.
Right.
Those views drive up revenue, and it means more money in her pocket. Oh, if I say this shit, people are going to come to my podcast, and they're going to watch my podcast, and a lot of times it's hate views. So it drives up revenue. So even if it's just it's like, oh, can you believe what she just said? And people are just watching this excerpt, it's still people are clicking on that podcast to listen to what she just said. people will have to scroll through. They may not hear the excerpt, or, oh, maybe she's right. Or maybe what she's saying, oh, I don't understand it either. So it's all done in a way that's calculating and, purposeful in a lot of ways. I'm not saying she's smart in doing it, but she's doing it in a way that's putting more dollars in her pocket because it gets people to, she knows her base, and they're going to listen to her, and they're going to continue to listen to her. And if she gets more clicks on pissing people off, they're going to continue to listen to her.
Yeah, Candace Owens was calling out a model who is on a wheelchair named Abigail Radford, and she had over 1 million followers on Twitter. That's a really big following. So the ad that Abigail was working with is for Skims, which is Kim Kardashian's shapewear line. And Christina Applegate called her out because, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I hope I said that right, back in 2021, which is a disease in which the immune system eats away at the protective covering of the nerves, as one of the symptoms includes double visual weakness, and a lot of people that have that disease end up in a wheelchair or bedridden. So I applaud Christina Applegate for speaking up about this, because at this point, one can only assume that Candace Owens is just saying all of this bullshit to chase clout. Do you have any thoughts?
Just my thought. I don't listen to Candace Owens. I haven't heard about her in all of this year. I don't pay attention to her. The only reason why she's in my top of my mind right now is because you guys are talking about her. I'm trying not to think about her. I choose not to listen to people like that, even if they say something atrocious. I don't go and click their links to find out what exactly they said, unless I have to do something like this, a podcast. I don't do that because I don't want to support them. I don't want to blindly support them or even appear like I'm supporting them. So I just try to ignore. Ignore is not the right word, but my life keeps going on. Her life is going on wherever she's going on. I can't tell you what state she lives in. I can't tell you who she's married to. I can't tell you if she's turning tricks on the corner. I can't tell you because I don't pay attention to her. You get what I'm saying? So,
I don't pay attention to her either.
And I think that's the problem, is she wants attention, and so people keep on giving it to her. It's like, I don't get, like, Ruben will tell you this is my personality. If I have a podcast and right now someone comments and they say, I hate your auntie on there, right? I'm not going to ever see it because I don't go in the comments. You want to know why I don't go in the comments? It's because I pray for whoever's in the comments. I hope you have a wonderful life. And whether you enjoy the show or you can't stand the show, you still support it in some type of way because you're listening to it. I don't listen to anything or watch anything that I don't support. I don't give any attention to it because that would be a waste of my time.
I feel you. I 100% feel you. And like they're like what you were saying, Adib, about someone, who is like a hater. They're in reality, they're like helping us break the world record. So you win.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. Like, people, like I've been in different mediums, and sometimes I had a large following or something like that. And I would have these people coming at me with negativity, and I would be like, thank you for your support. Like, cool. I said, like, why would you listen to me? Why would you read what I'm writing? Why would you do anything that I'm participating in if you don't like anything that I'm doing? Why are you here? Like, how can you be, how can you be so miserable? That would be like, I hate black licorice, right? I
Mm-hmm.
hate black licorice. You
Black
will never.
licorice the best.
I hate black licorice. You would never see me drive to the store, go to the candy aisle, and look at the black licorice and be like, I hate you, black licorice. I don't know why they created you, black licorice. You would never see me do that because you know why? It would be a waste of my time, right? It would be a waste of my time. So I don't do that, and I try not to do that in life, where I'm not going to focus on anything. Like, like recently I follow some people on some social media platforms because I want nothing to do with them. I don't really see what they're doing. I don't care.
Yeah.
Black licorice the best.
Pineapple on pizza is the best.
Sometimes.
Uncle Ruben, what do you think about pineapple on pizza?
Pineapple and pizza's fine. Not all the time though.
I'll take it. Would you prefer your pineapple the way it is or completely grilled?
I don't know. I guess the way it
like
is.
It fresh.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it fresh. I think that's the best. But canned is fine too, and grilled is good too. But if I have a preference for it, it's fresh. But yeah, I hope that yeah, Candace, that chick. But that's my thoughts on that. She just says things. But I want to say that I'm all for inclusivity. For
Me
so
too.
long, we've been such an exclusive society that I am all for. I love seeing skinny models. I love seeing average size models. I love seeing plus size models. I love seeing tall models. I love seeing short models. I love seeing models with was it vertical? Is it vitiligo? How you say it? Vitiligo?
Vitiligo.
Yeah, vitiligo.
I love to see models with albino. I don't know how to say the word right. Sorry, I have a speech impediment. But there's some words I can't say, but I have problems saying them. But you know what I'm saying? I like to see a variety of people. I like to see blonde, blue-eyed models. I like to see models that look like Alec Wet and everything in between. I'm okay. I like to see models that are missing a limb. I like to see models that might have some type of birth defect. I'm all for inclusivity because we all matter to somebody.
We all matter.
We all matter to somebody. You get what I'm saying? We all matter. So it's beautiful to see that inclusivity and the diversity. Cause we're all not all alike. I love it. I loved it when there was a girl, I can't think of her name right now, but she's on a spectrum. She has autism, and she was a beauty queen.
Amazing queen.
And she's going to college. They told her that she wouldn't go to college. She's going to college. They said she wouldn't. The only job she ever had would be bag groceries. She's fulfilling orders. She has a nice job. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing things like that because we're not all cookie cutter. We are all different, and we all matter to somebody.
We all matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Black Lives Matter.
For our final topic this week, veterinary student Karen Morris was a contestant on last Wednesday's episode of Jeopardy when she made a risky wager on a daily double, doubling her total from $21,800 to $11,800, causing her to win. In Final Jeopardy, Karen was still in the lead with $11,400. During the Final Jeopardy round, Morris answered the clue incorrectly and she wagered $6,001, leading to last place after dominating for most of the game. Fans on Twitter couldn't believe what they saw in the Daily Double fumble, as one Twitter user says, "Now why in the hell would Karen make such a large wage so late in the game? That was a terrible strategy." What are your guys' thoughts on this?
It's a game show. It's gambling. That's the gamble. That's why it's called Double Jeopardy. Look up the word Jeopardy. Double Jeopardy. You're putting your money in jeopardy. That's the name of the game. She won. She went for it. At the end of the day, she went for it. I mean, she might kick herself later, but it's no different than me sitting at the blackjack table and being up $600. But I'm thinking, like, what's $600 going to do with me? Like, is it really going to help me get $600? Let me try to get 12. Then I got $5. Am I mad? No, because I went with a certain amount. You get what I'm saying? I went to the table. I had $200. That's what I said I could afford to lose, and that I wouldn't be mad if I lost it. And I brought it up to 600, but I just didn't want 600. I was greedy. I wanted 1,200, and then I left with $5. Now I have more money than $5. As far as gambling money, I have $5. You get what I'm saying? It's the game. It's gambling.
Yeah, the contestant has been interacting with people regardless of the criticism, and she created a Twitter account before she became a Jeopardy contestant, and Karen thought that she would make a wager without risking herself. So that's why she wagered for that much amount of money. What are your thoughts, Uncle Ruben?
Yeah, I think I've watched Jeopardy a long time, and I've seen some crazy stuff happen. But you think you know the question or that's going to happen, or you think you know the category, so you make those wagers based on the category. You don't make the wager based on knowing the clue before you make it. So so it's all a gamble, like Eve said, and it's just one of those things that sometimes it falls in your lap, and sometimes it's an easy clue and you know the answer. Sometimes it doesn't, and it happens that way. It sucks that she lost. It sucks that she went from dominating the game to losing a final Jeopardy. But again, it's like it just happens. I don't know if I would have gambled that much, especially depending on how many clues were left in Final Jeopardy. I mean, in Double Jeopardy. If there wasn't very many clues left in Double Jeopardy, I probably wouldn't have made a big crazy wager, because that's something you have to factor in. It's gameplay too. So if you don't have a lot of clues left in Double Jeopardy to make a crazy wager, then if you miss and you wager most of your money, then you're running the risk of not being able to make that money back. So it's all a gamble, and as long as she had fun and she was on TV, and I've always thought about going on Jeopardy, but I don't think I've ever could go on Jeopardy because I don't think I'm fast enough anymore to buzz in. I used to be better at trivia when I was younger than I am now. I used to watch Jeopardy all the time. I used to watch it religiously. Now it's like I catch it here and there. I'd be better on Celebrity Jeopardy than I am on regular Jeopardy, but I'm not a celebrity, and I wouldn't have a charity. I'd have to donate that money to charity, so it wouldn't be as fun because I couldn't keep the money. But as long as she had fun, I think that was the key. I think that all game shows are about is having fun. If you win money, that's great. If you don't, then it's an experience, it's a story you could tell later on in your life. So I think reading the story, it sucks that she ended up losing and at the end, but at the end of the day, it's still something. It's a life experience and part of life that you have to make. It's always a gamble,
Life experience that most of us will never know.
Basically, because it's hard to get on Jeopardy.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yep.
And is it just me, or have we been talking about Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune on this episode?
It seems that way.
Yeah, because
I wonder why.
Yeah, my grandma's been watching Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune all her life, even right before Alex Trebek passed. But yeah, I used to watch.
No,
I
he
also
was
watched
suspect
Jeopardy.
too. That dude was, whew, he turned out to be a disappointment.
Well, Deborah.
May he rest in peace. You were a disappointment.
Well, I remember also watching Jeopardy Wheel of Fortune and be like so addicted to it as a kid. I don't watch it nowadays, but that moment will forever have a special place to my heart. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, we hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we would love to hear what you guys think about the topics we discussed today. Let us know in your comments below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to wherever you get your podcast. We have been your host, and we will catch you next time. Bye, guys.